Yeah, I mean, the Lakers have a conundrum in front of them right now. I do think that there are trades out there that they could make, whether it's involving Russell Westbrook or Patrick Beverley. Those are the two guys who would probably go out in conjunction with a draft pick or two. I mean, they were willing to offer both the 2027 and 2029 picks for Kyrie Irving unprotected. Now, there is not a Kyrie Irving out there, so there's not going to be that type of move. But the issue is they have to wonder, is there a trade that truly makes a difference with where this team is? And this team, I don't know how you evaluate tonight because they were just a little bit out of sorts. They've been a better defensive team this year than they showed tonight. But they were this is a team that they've eventually got to pass to make the play-in. The Thunder's perimeter play versus the Lakers' perimeter play in this game the disparity was shocking. I mean, not like we didn't know this already, Bontemps, but the disparity was shocking between the play of Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, who had like a cool 33, Josh Giddey, who just tore up the Lakers off the bounce. He ended up with 20. And I mentioned earlier Jalen Williams, who is the J-Dub is the wing rookie Jalen Williams. J. Will is the big man rookie Jalen Williams. And by the way, the big man rookie Jalen Williams went for 14, 7, and 7. But anyway, J-Dub, Jalen Williams out of Santa Clara, 25 points tonight, just killed the Lakers on the perimeter. So I would say, Bontemps, that they could make a trade that potentially could help them on the perimeter. But then they would probably have to take on salary for next year. Mm-hmm. And I'm not so sure that they shouldn't just finish eating the bleep sandwich here with Westbrook and just clear this off. Because I feel like if they make a trade that only marginally improves them, I'm not so sure it's going to make that much of a difference.
I mean, the problem with that scenario, like let's say they do that, right? Let's say they do that and they try to go into the summer. Well, they just used 3 second-round picks to trade for Rui Hachimura, right, who in theory they would like to be able to re-sign. If they try to re-sign him, then they don't have that much, maybe they got 15 or 20 million in space. If they let him go in free agency, they've just burned 3 second-round picks. And if they sign one guy this summer, then they've got LeBron, AD, and one more guy, and then they've got a bunch of minimums again on the roster.
They could sign Kyrie. I mean, I don't know how it's going to work in Dallas, but
sure,
Kyrie is a free agent this summer.
I mean, yes, but then they're still going to have the same problem of having a roster full of minimum players. That's been the problem since they traded for Russell Westbrook. The formula that had this team in the NBA Finals, winning a championship, and had them, with one of the best records in the West the year after that, was AD and LeBron with a bunch of depth around them. The Russell Westbrook trade sapped all that depth, and then Russ was terrible on top of it. So even if they have another good star with those two guys, you're still talking about a team that would have no perimeter athleticism, no interior size other than AD, no depth for a 39-year-old LeBron, AD who misses a bunch of time. If it was Kyrie, he misses a bunch of time. Like, I sort of think they need to make a trade now so they can try to get back in the other direction and have actual depth pieces around AD and LeBron to have some functioning roster around those guys.
Well, and you talk about they just have minimum players. Yeah, they'd have minimum players and then maximum players who tend to miss a lot of time, which
right
exacerbates that problem. Look, they could absolutely make a trade right now, but they're 5 games under 500. Like, this ain't about, hey, make a trade to try to capitalize on the championship window with LeBron. This is about make a trade to try to get into the freaking play-in. Oh, hey, maybe host a play-in game. Like, let's be real.
Well, that's what this team is, though, MacMahon. Like, if this team made the play-in, it would be achieving to its roster, I feel like.
Right.
Well, and that's true. But it gets back to, is it worth giving up your only future draft picks you can give up, 2027 and 2029, probably lightly protected if you're going to make that kind of deal, if at all, for a very, and you can say very limited upside at the same time. Like, look, say they squeeze their way into the play-in, say, just hypothetically, they end up playing those Grizzlies who were talking all that trash for LeBron and got them all worked up last year. healthy LeBron, healthy AD, if there's a supporting cast around them, I don't know that it would be just a real easy series to say no chance in that. But like, are you giving up picks, those kind of prized future picks for a collection of quality role players? Are you letting Danny Ainge just squeeze, and he can give you Mike Conley. If you want Jordan Clarkson, he can do that. Beasley, Malik Beasley, Shooter, Vanderbilt, an energy guy. Is that worth two prize future picks, and then your cupboard is dry as far as draft capital to use in trades?
Well, like I said, I to me, it's less about the ceiling of this year's team, and it's much more about what your roster building is going to be going forward. Because that's the choice the Lakers have. It's like Brian said, if they let Russell Westbrook go at the end of the year, they have this salary cap space they could try to use this summer. Or they use Russell Westbrook now to bring in players who they have rights to then deepen the pool of players.
Let me
give
you an example of that type of trade. This is a hypothetical. I mean, I'm sure the teams have talked, but this is a hypothetical. Like if they shipped Russell Westbrook to Utah with a first-round pick, it's possible because he makes $47 million that they might be able to bring back Mike Conley, Malik Beasley, and Jared Vanderbilt, which would be 3 rotation players. I think in that case, the Jazz would just waive Russell Westbrook, but
I can tell you for sure that would be true.
That's
a concept of a trade that we're talking about here. So if you were to add hypothetically,
those guys would all start for the Lakers probably if they traded them for them.
Well, I don't know about all of them, but probably 2 of the 3. And is that a trade? Because the one thing about the Lakers is the Russ trade had painted them into the corner. And when you're in a hole, the first thing you got to do is stop digging. And so they got painted into a corner. Do you believe that if they had those 3 guys on the roster, that they would be materially better this year, as an example, and able to nimbly we can go get a star player, and so let's trade the other draft pick we have, and upgrade? Or are they just locking themselves into fighting for the play-in a year from now when they could have had more options in the summer?
Look, basically what you're asking is, if Kyrie Irving wants to go to L.A., can the Lakers still make it happen this summer if they pull off that deal? Never say never. I think it would be difficult. The Mavericks aren't going to just help out if they're not getting some kind of significant return, either a star or something they think they could use as at least part of the ticket to a star. So that's something that they need to consider over these next 36 hours.
It's just really hard to win in the NBA with no depth. And even if they get a third star, they're literally going to have no depth. With with 3 guys who at the end of the day, if it is Kyrie or some guy like that, it's 3 guys who are also, as MacMahon said, rarely all on the court at the same time.
Obviously I watched them play during the year. I know what they look like, but seeing the difference in the perimeter depth tonight, I don't know what. It's a big fix. It's a big fix, and it's probably going to take a couple transaction cycles. And LeBron is 38.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN Plus.